So keep it clean. Are we recording? We are. We're on live and sharing my screen. Are we looking good, ladies?
Yeah, baby.
Brilliant. Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the Digital Toolkit 2021, the Digital Expert Panel Q&A discussion that is live on Facebook every Wednesday from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Today we've got a fabulous group of ladies here who are ready to help you find the best courses online for free or for very little cost to your business and help your business grow online. So who do we have today? We have Nicole Ben Hatton, Katrina Paranek, Kay Ridge, Andrea Anderson, Sheldon sends his apologies, Liam sends his apologies, Crystal, Carly, and a number of the businesses that join us on a regular basis. So please do make sure that you join us every week. I will hand over to Nicole Ben Hatton to tell us about the Hot and Healthy Academy.
Thank you, Katrina, and it's great to be back with the new series of the Digital Toolkit. The Hot and Healthy Academy is the leading online support program for women running their businesses without burnout. So we do have all of what you would expect in a small business academy. We've got all of the business modules you need to be successful and sustainable in small business, with the addition of the mindset modules and the food, fitness and nutrition modules that you need to stay in the game, be at the top of your game and be in it long enough to reap the rewards. And I'm super excited about today's topic because we do have an incredible online program that I'm going to be sharing more with you as we go through today's session. Go and check us out at hotandhealthyglobal.com. We're only $47 a month. It's a great way to get all the information, tools, support and resources you need to be sustainably successful in your small business as a woman.
I've got to remember to get myself off mute these days. Goodness. Welcome. And my name's Katrina Paranek. I am from Ranking Australia. I am a web presence specialist and we help you to get found on Google by way of SEO, social media activity, marketing, etc. So check us out at rankingaustralia.com.au. Over to you, Kay.
Thanks, Katrina. Hi, I'm Kay Ridge. I run Dash Social, which is a social media organization that specializes in LinkedIn. So if we can help you in any way in regards to your profile and getting you more clients, love to help.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Kay. Over to you, Andrea, and welcome, Dante. Wasn't expecting you today, so we don't have your slide up, but I'll give you the free run of the camera when we get to you. So over to you, Andrea, sorry.
No worries, thanks. And hey everyone, it's Andrea Anderson here, Chief Ideas Specialist for Your Marketing Machines, where we create ideas to ignite your business. As a marketing strategy and communications agency, we're based here in Petrie Terrace in Brisbane, where we have the absolute pleasure of working with a number of different businesses in identifying their brand, looking at how to bring their brand to market so that they can show growth, success, consistency and continuity. Really excited actually, Katrina, about today's topic, all around, I guess, online programs that are available for businesses. There is no better time than now to be looking at resuscitating and revitalizing your business for 2021. 2020, we kicked to the curb. So it's time for us to get up, get moving and get out there and start making money.
Brilliant. I love the enthusiasm. Sheldon sends his apologies for today, as does Liam. Over to you, Crystal.
Hello, is my background better now? I just got a message saying, close your background. I am Crystal from Crystal Clear Solutions, the organisation queen. We help businesses implement all the foundations to growth and transforming for growth. So basically, a lot of businesses start up and just do what they need to do to get going and making money and get clients in the door. And then all of a sudden they go, oh my God, I'm going to crash and burn. And you need to implement systems and automation and standard operating procedures to make sure the staff that you're bringing on know what to do, know what the expectations are, and that your clients are always getting the best of the best, no matter who's around or what's going on in the background. So we help businesses implement all of those foundational things for your business.
Beautiful, Crystal. I'm thinking that we need to have a chat later on this week too. Beautiful. Carly sends her apologies. I think she's got a call coming in. So the nature of business these days, we have to dash out when we've got business calling. So Carly's from Inkblock VA, and she is the amazing person in my life who takes care of all the tasks that I just don't get a chance or find too, how do you say, cumbersome to do. So I hand it over to Carly and she takes over. She's amazing. Now, I do believe we have a special guest today who has joined us unexpectedly. So welcome, and thank you. Dante, take it over.
Hey guys, so many faces here I haven't seen for ages. I've been very tardy in getting to these calls. I'm cover that up. I'm not actually representing that today. I'm representing the Boost with Facebook Australia program, which is one of my other contracts I work on as part of the team of Facebook Australia and New Zealand. We help to bring good information and support for the business community around Australia and New Zealand for using the Facebook family of apps, Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, and all those things that come between, including Business Suite and all the business managers and account manager problems that people seem to have along the way as well. So I'm really glad to be back, and happy 2021.
Yes, Happy New Year as well, Dante. I don't think I got a chance to speak to you before now. So yeah, no, it's really good to catch up. And I'm really pleased that you're able to share some insight there from the Facebook side of things as well. So what we might do is move over to, I think we'll go in order of who I've got on my screen. So we'll start with Nicole from Hot and Healthy Academy. And next will be Andrea, Kay, Crystal, Dante, and then myself. So over to you, Nicole.
So I was hoping you were going to ask me a question, but since Dante's here, I can give him a great big shout out and say humongous thank you. You were on one of these digital toolkits, and then I started stalking you because that's how I, got introduced to you, and started doing free learning from different tips that you had shared. Found out that Facebook Australia was giving away grants for some of the Facebook community groups. I applied, and they said, "What do you want the money for?" And I went, "I want to take 20 women through the Hot and Healthy Academy as a scholarship for a year." They said yes, gave me the money. And as of January, as of right now, we have 20 students paid for by Facebook Australia on a 1-year scholarship. So big, high, huggy five to you, Dante. But that's also a great example. Now, our program's already affordable. It's only $47 a month or $470 for the year with a bonus one-on-one coaching session. However, organisations are looking to sponsor women to go through our program. So technically it's not exactly free, which is today's topic, free learning, but it could be free if you secure one of the scholarships, or if you know an organisation who is very interested in supporting women through this kind of program, then you could connect us and then we get the scholarship, and then you get one of the scholarships, so you could get a free one. So don't necessarily look for programs that are necessarily free right up front. Look for ways that you could potentially get into programs where you don't have to pay. So that was a good example. In addition to the Hot and Healthy Academy, which I'm hoping Katrina's going to ask me more questions about, otherwise I feel very salesy. The one I personally do, which was, it was free to start with, and then I got hooked, and then I paid. It's called Future Learn. So I am an absolute addict on personal growth and professional development, and I continuously learn. I went through that one, and it has courses which are provided, many courses that are provided by some of the leading institutions, educational institutions and universities. The one that I'm actually doing at the moment is about imposter syndrome. And I'm learning that in order to adapt that, in order to deliver that to my academy students, because our women are challenged quite a lot with imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough. I need to know more. I need to be more in order to achieve more, which is totally not true. So we do a lot around mindset and reworking mindset. So I experienced those courses through the free platform, and then looked at all the other courses they had available from all the different institutions, and then bought an annual membership, so it became paid, in order for me to get completion certificates from some of these universities. And some of these university courses will add up to credits that you can use if you then do a university course with them. So for the Hot and Healthy Academy, you can do a year-long course with us. It's going to cost you so little and be of such great value. And at the end, you'll be able to run your business better and make money that way. Or you could do something like Future Learn, where if you're looking to accrue continuing education points, and then that can either be used in your industry or in your business, personal application, or towards a qualification going forward. Did that answer your question, Katrina? You're on mute. Lovely. You're on mute.
Yes, of course. I didn't actually ask you a question, except for that. You know, what have you encountered in the way of free online courses, and obviously to tell us a bit about Hot and Healthy Academy. So yeah, definitely. Thank you. Could you place the course that you're doing inside the chat so that we can recover it later?
I can put it inside our group afterwards, because I'll have to go and find it.
Brilliant. Thank you. Definitely. Okay. So questions. Definitely. I'll check the group and see if there's anyone who's watching who's got some questions. So please do send us a message. I'll put it over to Andrea Anderson to share her course that she's working on at the moment.
Thanks, Katrina. I guess just to the question I always get asked a lot before I go into the program, and that is doing free programs really worth it, right? Because you get content that can be delivered either free, or you pay a small fee, or you can pay a big fee. And the question I always get whenever I say, look, there's a free course, I think you should go and look at it, there's almost a sense of hesitancy there from the person going, yeah, but is it really going to be worth my time? And I think that's really important. I think that's one of the biggie things that you need to be aware of when you are looking at free programs, because usually whenever there's a free program, it's actually part of a whole complete sales funnel strategy where they're wanting to get your name and your contact information, content up front, and then they're going to come in and slam you with a buy from me now type attitude. So just be really aware of your whole intentional reason for wanting to go in and actually sit through free content. Know that on some cases there is the likelihood of a couple of hooks coming through at some time through the presentation, if not at the end, for you to then engage and open your wallet and watch the moths start flying out if you've got my wallet. So just be aware of that when you are looking at free courses. I would definitely encourage that you do a little bit of research around the kind of organisation that's actually providing that free information as well. You know, how credible are they in the marketplace? How long have they been operating for? What other free stuff do they do? You might even want to go and check out their Facebook page, or check out what the level of credibility is there that's supporting that particular organisation. Real important, because gosh, if it's one thing that we've learned in the last 9 months through 2020 was that everybody went from offline to suddenly going online, and we just got absolutely bamboozled with free information and free programs. And I don't know about you, but my eyes are actually looking like screens, because I've been looking at a screen for the last 9 months continuously. In saying that, there's a couple of, Katrina, I'm just going to put an email, a link into the chat box. I recently, funnily enough, I only just got this morning from Queensland Government, from the DESBIT department, and it's a list of online training for small businesses. So these are organisations that have been approved by Queensland Government to be delivering information to small businesses, and there's quite a large selection of players here on this list. So for all of our listeners out there, our watchers, and and everyone else that we know, team, do please get them to have a look at this list of locally approved training programs available for people. An organisation actually that we've just recently partnered with is a company called Cyber Partners Australia. And what happened with Cyber Partners Australia is a very large organisation who deals in the area of cybersecurity. Interestingly enough, their background has been in dealing with your large corporates, big business, and government departments, not only here in Australia, but also New Zealand, UK, Singapore, and Hong Kong. They decided last year that really the biggest part of the business sector that was missing out on cybersecurity content was actually startups, micro, small businesses, because either A, we just don't consider that we're potentially at risk. Number two, we don't believe that we've got the money to afford it. So what Cyber Partners decided to do is they approached DESBIT, so the Department of Employment, Small Business and Training, and were funded to actually take what content they would normally sell at $100,000 to big business, and they've created a free online training program for micro startups and small businesses. They've broken the content down into 4 modules. It's really cool because you go through one module and then you've got to sit an assessment and you've got to get an 80% success rate to move on to the next one. Yeah, nah, bro, that wasn't me. I failed dismally on every single assessment. Like, I had to do it twice. I think on some cases it was 3 times. So it really is quite a neat little training program for people to do. The information in there is actually really impressive and easy to follow, to the point that I've actually sent the link to my staff and said, you guys need to do this because I know we're breaking 1 million cybersecurity rules. So I'm going to put the Queensland Government list in here, and I'm also going to give you the link. Please, guys, go and register. Take the program. Highly recommend it. It's all free. It's going to save you thousands of dollars, which is what you'd normally pay my client. But yeah, that's it. You're on mute, honey.
Awesome, thank you. That was brilliant. I can't wait to have a look at that list. And the cybersecurity one is something that we all need to have a look at, because there's a lot of new things obviously happening around Facebook and Google that you want to make sure you're protecting your data. I myself had to go in and do a Google account checkup and make sure that my passwords and that were protected. So you can go in and see your Google account admin dashboard and do a bit of a security checkup. So beyond that, I would like to pass it over to Kay. I mean, what's been shared on LinkedIn recently by way of popular courses? We've lost Kay. What happened? Whoops. Okay. We'll come back to Kay. That's fine. Over to Dante St. James from Facebook Community.
I think in terms of courses, obviously what we've put out there is the Blueprint by Facebook, which is a completely free thing. So that has expanded and expanded and expanded as the new products emerge, such as, the Facebook shops, Instagram shopping, Business Manager, Business Suite, all the new things add on, get a a module that's assigned to that particular product as well. That has meant that there's been a lot of people rushing in there to learn something new, because there always seems to be some change that's going on in there. And having probably one of the world's largest help areas for online help for all those particular things to do with Facebook and Instagram takes a lot of updating as well. So part of what I do with Facebook is I help to contribute to some of those things, particularly how it stands with Australian knowledge. We find that we often have to change something that's available in America and go, hey, California, that's not available here. Get that out. We don't, people are asking us for this particular product or this particular service that isn't available right now. Or it could be something that with our support of New Zealand, there's particular things that aren't available in New Zealand that we have to say, hey, that needs to be removed from the New Zealand help files as well. But one of the great things that comes through the Boost with Facebook Australia group is that we're able to, as one of the contributors and moderators there, we're able to collect all the feedback that comes from there, and we're feeding that back into the machine to say, okay, this is the stuff we need. This is the things we're getting asked for all the time. If it's something to do with ad accounts being blocked, happens all the time. If it's something to be losing access to a page because you've been hacked, we've got some resources in there to at least get you on the way to getting some kind of resolution, if that is possible at all. So I think it's that whole thing with doing a course is we've found that you can go, okay, my knowledge is being dumped now into a course, and I'm going to teach the world all my great wisdom. But if you're not then able to provide some kind of feedback mechanism to learn how to get something back from that and say, okay, what is working with my course? What is not working with my course? Then you're actually stuck with a course that less and less and less and less people can use over a period of time, to the point where it becomes almost useless. And there's so many Facebook ads secrets gurus courses out there that and everyone's seen them. Some big hair, big teeth person who's trying to sell you a course, and they're trying to do, not you, Andrea. But it'd be one of those things where you go, this person, I don't know who they are, I've never heard of them, but apparently they're a guru for Facebook ads, and their information, when we go and check it, is up to, out of date from about 2012. They haven't updated that course since 2012, and they're giving out the kind of information which is not just wrong, it's almost criminally insane, because it's just so out of date that people are paying to access these courses and they're not getting the true words. So what we usually say is, for compliance, go with the Facebook courses that are already in place through the blueprint and through the help. But when it comes to the tips, the tricks, the strategies, the individual things that come in each country, look for people within your realm, within your country, and look for them as the people who are able to guide you down certain strategic paths. Because Facebook won't tell you how to target your very, very precise niche. They won't tell you what the best particular platform or combination of platforms is for you alone. But what they'll give you is, here's the tools, here's how you use them. How you then interpret that for your own audience and for your own desires and needs, that's up to you to work out as marketers or as business owners. Hopefully that's helpful.
Dante, have you, because I know you run an amazing group on Facebook, and I know that, man, there is a lot of excitement, a lot of conversation that goes on. That group that you run, is that for anybody, or do you need the special pass to get through the door?
No special pass. It's just open to anyone who's a business owner. So if you're a business owner, you keep going, you go in there, and you're welcome to join in, contribute. You can help out other people as well. Some of the best answers we're getting, particularly I've noticed this month, have been from other social media managers helping out other social media managers and small businesses. Cool. And that's been so great to see. It's not then coming down to me being on as many hours as I can, or the team from Facebook in Singapore and Sydney being able to be on there and answer those questions quickly.
Cool. Can you throw us the link?
Yeah, sure. No worries. I usually got it open right in front of me.
Put the link to the Facebook group you mentioned in there as well.
Yep.
Thanks, Dante. We were losing Kay in and out there for a moment. Are we all good now?
Well, only time will tell, Katrina. I'm having everybody freeze. I'm having dropping out, coming back in. So we'll see how we go. Look, the one free online that I'd like to talk about is in LinkedIn. It's called LinkedIn Learning. and you can go in there and find a variety of things to learn, not
I think we're losing her, or
there's
is
a
it
whole
just
lot
me?
of different things that you can go and have. I mean, I'll be going to be doing it to look at the release tweeting. And guys, I'm going to go because
I've got to remember that mute button. So I believe we've lost Kay, sadly. We'll jump back in with her next week, I guess. So sorry we lost you, but that's fine. So over to, I guess, myself to, no, I think Crystal was next, right? So Crystal, I believe you've got some insights there by way of stuff to learn systems for your business. So over to you, Crystal.
Yeah, so there's a platform called Go1, which is basically an online e-learning library where they partner with the top training providers in the world. And there is courses in Go1 that are right from how to network, how to have communications, how to lead, how to run your business, like you name it, it's in there. And the Queensland, I've just got to get the name right, Small Business Skills Hub has partnered with Go1 to provide small businesses within Queensland free access to this platform. Now, if you're a business owner, that's huge because I've got clients that actually pay for a subscription with Go1 and it's $100 per person as your staff. So depending on how many staff you have, you can imagine that that cost obviously increases exponentially. So to have free access to that is, you know, it's invaluable as a small business owner, and the topics are and like there's so many in there, you literally get lost. You go down a rabbit hole of courses. So it, you know, if you've got a business coach, it's really worthwhile having a conversation with them about, you know, what's our strategy for this year, and therefore what courses are we trying to look for to educate ourselves on, so that you don't fall down that rabbit hole of thousands and thousands of options. And like what Dante was just saying, you know, there are training providers on the platform that aren't necessarily that great. So definitely have a look at the reviews. Some of the courses are 2 minutes long, some of the courses are 2 hours long. But as a free access and to thousands of courses, it's definitely one that I recommend.
Brilliant, thank you, Crystal. I've added that to the Facebook page.
Yeah, I also put in the chat the link to the Queensland Small Business Skills website, because that's where you sign up for it. If you go straight to Go1, they'll charge you for that. So
Brilliant. Okay, no worries. So I guess that kind of pulls it over to me. I wanted to have a chat about a couple of things. So one, there's a million and one places online, as Andrea was saying, to get, you know, access to this program, that program, and generally there's a hook in there. They want you to engage or open your wallet, as she said. So how do you sift through the ones that are actually going to give you some value in your business, as opposed to those that are just a gimmick or a sales funnel that you're popping into? So one of the things that aligns with what Dante was saying with regards to the Facebook training is the Google certifications. So I can't tell you how important it is to go through yourself, even as a business owner. Even if you've got a Google Ads manager there, it doesn't hurt to go in and skill up in the Google Ads certification. They've got a number of different courses inside the skill shop that I'll share the link with everyone later, that you can learn, learn all about Google My Business, learn about Google Display Ads, Google Video Ads, you can Google Search Ads, the shopping ads. There's anything within Google, they've got some form of training in there, but the most essential one that I find, and I actually took advantage of Australia Day yesterday to update my search and display ad certifications. So it was a good reminder for me to go in and do that. You do get certificates at the end of it, but which I guess, give you a sense of accomplishment. You've done that, you're qualified, and you're happy to confidently move on with your marketing. But the point from all of these courses that we want to bring your attention to is that it's all to help you grow, help your business grow, and improve your marketing, improve your sales, even if it's just something as simple as being able to set up your Google My Business listing, which a lot of people tend to go, where do I start? Or they create something and they don't know about all the little tools and added value settings that you can go in and actually implement to help boost your ranking and things like that online. So they're not difficult courses. They literally are read here, click this, do this. What's a reiteration of what you've just read is the assessment questions. So they're not how do you say, you don't need to be a genius, an intellectual virtuoso to go through and do these. You don't need to be a maths genius either. You just need to read it and go through it. I think the course itself probably took me, I'm familiar with a lot of it, but each of those courses took me about half an hour to an hour to do, and most of that was going through the questions, so it's for someone who's never done it before, it might take you 2 or 3 hours. I'd say dedicate at least a day, a month to what skills can you learn, what new training can you do. Have a professional development day in your work month that you can dedicate to improving your business and growing your business online. So because the amount of time that you will invest each month in your own business, which people, even myself, I'm guilty of at times, don't dedicate that time to their own business. They're too busy focusing on everyone else's that they're not improving their own, and they're falling behind and end up having to play catch up, right? So we don't want to do that. We want to move ahead. So make that time to go and find one of these, access one of the links that I've put on the Digital Toolkit Facebook page, and go and access some of these free courses. And there are some that are low cost, but amazing value. And sometimes the ones that have at least a small fee to engage with, you've got a whole a wealth of value inside there that you can take advantage of, simply because you've engaged. You're not getting the sales hook after that, but you're getting a whole wealth of knowledge and value. So yeah, I'll share the links with the Google Skills Shop. But I wanted to share my certificates I got. I've also, I think towards the end of the last year, I did do some blueprint courses, thanks Dante, and I've got to jump in there again and update those. But I'll show you what you essentially get at the end of this course. Okay, so there's my very lovely Google Ads certification and the display ad certification. So you get these at the end of the assessment. So you can print them out. They look great on a wall, but essentially that you've done that, and they tie in with Google Partner Badge as well for those who are web developers or marketing specialists, for example, you can get your little Google Partner Badge and be specialized in that particular area for Google Ads marketing. So any questions in relation to obviously the Google courses, pop them in the Facebook page as well, jump into the group. And I believe Dante is also, we are all members of the Facebook group, the Digital Visibility Toolkit group. So please do, if you've got any questions between the sessions as well, pop them in there, because we're listening, and we're there to, you know, help direct you in the right direction. And now I would like to
A question.
Yeah.
If it's all right, Katrina. I just want to hijack and ask a question. We're all small business owners, and I have a question around, would getting a completion certificate or a certification or a piece of paper of some kind turn you on to choosing a course, whether it's a free one or an inexpensive one? And I am sweating like a demon. I'm in Ipswich. It's like 2 or 3 degrees hotter than everyone else, and I have no air conditioning. So I'm suffering for you guys. So the question is, would it switch you on or put you off if you could or couldn't get a completion certificate or a certification? My feedback from the people I asked, so I'll jump in before you answer, I'll answer it myself, was because we were looking at going down the RTO route to be a registered training organisation. And so many of small business owners I spoke to, they're like, I don't care. Just give it to me, make it relevant, give it to me quick, let me learn it. I got to apply it. I got to make money in my business. I don't care about the rest. I'm just curious as to the experts here, what your feedback on that would be.
I have some thoughts, but I thought I might let someone jump in if they're okay. So when I was considering building the digital toolkit into an actual online course, a while back, probably 3 years ago, I was looking into the RTO route, and like you, people just they want it now. They don't want to consider themselves worried too much about the RTO route, because the only reason they would be going through the RTO pathway is if they're using it for employment, not for their business. So I don't think it matters so much in there, but except for the badge or certificate is something that gives them another ticket, if you like, that they can put on their wall or wow their clients for, and having that kind of certification on their website or validation on their LinkedIn profiles, for example. So
I'd agree with that, probably, Katrina. I'd say that people are looking for maybe a piece of paper to be able to stick on your wall, regardless of whether it's accredited training or not, is a nice thing to have. But what I find is, depends on who's paying for this. If the business owner is paying for it themselves, they don't care. But if their employer is paying for them, the employer usually wants it to be a Cert 3, Cert 4, because they've got to then report that on as part of their training allowances and training quotient for the year in their department. So quite often you'll find that, oh, no, we only want to use an accredited training provider, because it comes with that idea that they can write that down in an annual report and say, oh yes, we've had all these people go through these accredited training courses. But the actual business owner doesn't care.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And to be honest, for us, one of the reasons we're able to provide it at such an affordable rate is because we didn't go down the certification route. Because it is incredibly huge in fees, but also in times of administration. And so when I was consulting a number of different professionals who had their own RTOs, the general advice came back, it's just not worth it. And then when I spoke to business owners, they're like, I don't care, seriously, I don't care. For those who've got teams of people, there is a little bit of an incentive to be paying for their staff to go through a program that at least has a completion certificate. So we do have that built into our platform, and bless our heart, we've got Katrina who's working on our systems, our website in the background, is to create completion certificates for certain core elements of the course content, so that employers with a couple, 1 to 3 employees wanting to give them general understanding and awareness of running a small business to make them more, I guess, engaged with the small business that they're working in, or more generalist skilled within that business, can feel a bit more confident putting them through that. We do have a completion bar at the bottom of, but we keep adding courses. So the more we keep adding courses, your bar goes down no matter how much you're doing. Like I was looking at it the other day going, I'm 23% through all the courses in my program, and I'm working with all these 17 faculty put content in there. And then the next day I put another course up there and I was like, yeah, I'm down to 6% completed.
It's such a valid comment, question that you raised though, Nicole, because it's that, do we get certified or not get certified? That is the question. And I think a lot of it, for like, if I think of my own situation, so my team are all they've come through the internship program through QUT with me. They've completed their qualification. So I've got a number of my team who've come out with an undergrad qualification in their area of expertise. I've got a master's graduate as well. And I think that for a lot of businesses at the moment, it's more about how valuable is the content going to be to my business, how simple is it going to be to implement, but also more importantly, is it going to give me the confidence to actually be able to move forward in that particular part of my business. I mean, there's a lot of great content out there, but holy tamale, Batman, it goes over your head like there's no tomorrow, like the Jetstar going past, and you're like, I have no idea what that is. And I think if anything, that's probably the biggest hurdle for people when it comes to having to go back and re-educate, especially in areas that they're not confident with. So I think the big one here is not whether it should be certified or not certified, but more importantly, how implementable is your information to for the person who's receiving that content. If I think about the Cyberfy program, like I said, you go through and you have to achieve a certain percentage before you can move to the next module. The really interesting thing though, and this probably says a lot more about cyber partners who built the program, is that they looked at what benchmarking qualifications or certification could we then take this information and benchmark it against. So their information, when you go through the Cyberfy training program, actually aligns in with 4 different kinds of internationally recognized certifications around cybersecurity. And they did that purposely when they built the program. Yes, they wanted to make it really easy for people to learn how to safeguard themselves and feel and have that confidence to be able to implement those changes. But more importantly, for those businesses who wanted to then go to that next level and look at some level of certification for their business cybersecurity, they already had the basis, the foundation of being able to do that. So I think that's another sort of layer of looking at the kind of information that you're going to invest your time into learning.
Definitely agree there, Andrea. There's another aspect that I wanted to draw attention to, I guess, by way of, when you're looking at these courses that you want to take, and it lends to what you were saying, are they implementable? Because you need that key takeaway. And because if it doesn't have one key takeaway for that particular activity, then it's not going to have any value or relevance to people's businesses. So, which is, I guess, another benefit of looking at, say, Facebook training, Google training, or even Hot and Healthy Academy training. They're very specific in what you need them for, right? So it comes down to, the courses actually articulating what it is that they're going to be learning in that. So what is that takeaway? Is it bite sizable if it's a small course? Is it, all encompassing for a major aspect of their business, which is something that they will focus on if it's obviously in long term. So, but definitely, look at what it is, what you're actually going to get to take away from that course, and that will give you the I guess the information that you need to invest your time and effort, or money, even if it is a paid.
I'd like to add to that. I agree with everything. We're all just awesome. I totally agree with everyone. But I also wanted to add, it's great if you do a free course and it's really implementable, but who's going to kick your butt to make sure you do it? And that's been a big problem for me in my business. I will absolutely 100% deliver on the stuff I'm interested in and I will implement it. But if it's stuff I'm not interested in, but I really do need to do it, I will procrastinate. So I think when you're looking at a free course, or you're looking at something that you're investing a bit more money in, will they make you accountable? Do you have other students you can bounce stuff on? And how accessible are the educators? So, you know, looking at what Dante's saying, there's a Facebook group where you can ask questions. That's brilliant. At least have something like that. Are there, if you're getting a completion certificate, part of that completion process, did you have to prove that you actually implemented anything? Because we're small business owners and we want a return on investment for our time invested, even in a free course. So, for example, the Hot and Healthy Academy, having spent 2 years doing the research around it, and we did the in-person events up until COVID, it was, what did you learn? What did you do with that learning? And what was the outcome of implementing what you learned? So we had to convert that into online support groups. We have a private Facebook group where we do that, and also quarterly in-person events where we eyeball people and go, you know, you said you were going to do this course because you had a challenge with cash flow. You know, how's your cash flow now? You know, what do you need to do more of, less of, etc. So I think they're key things. Free learning, and it depends on your learning style as well, and your capacity to, you know, to do something with what you're learning. I've already mentioned right at the beginning, I love free learning. I did tons of free learning. I constantly learn, whether it's a book, a podcast, you know, digital toolkits, whether it's a structured course, whether it's a conversation with someone, whether it's networking at a networking event. But it really is about that implementation and who's making you accountable for implementing.
Actually, Katrina, you mentioned before about Google training. Are you able to put into
The link.
the chat, the link, because look, I know that that's an area that everyone talks about they're experts in, a bit like everyone talks about being experts in Facebook, but really half of them have got no freaking clue. Because I'd be really keen to have a look at what that Google training looks like for me and my team.
Yeah, no worries at all. I'll pop that in there shortly. And I believe that Kay had shared LinkedIn Learning with us, so I'm going to pop that in there as well. I was just having a sticky beak, multitasking as you do, and there's some programming stuff in there, which was, you know, a little bizarre. So I was like, wow, okay, I might have to have a look at that. But, you know, you've got things like QuickBooks and Adobe and Google Apps inside LinkedIn Learning, which is really cool. So looks like something useful to have a chat, have a squiz at anyway. So, but question for Dante, can you comment, that is, what is the situation, or I guess climate around all this, these changes, obviously in relation to media? What is it that you guys know by way of Facebook continuing, and obviously, you know, in turn Facebook Blueprint and Facebook Community? So how is current events?
So with changes that are happening, are you talking about privacy and news code stuff?
Yes.
Whilst wearing this T-shirt, I can't officially comment on any of this because I don't speak for Facebook.
No, that's fine.
You just cover this up and just say that I've got my own thoughts on it, though. I think our government's being really, really stupid about this, to be honest. I think that they just cover that logo for a sec. I think the government's being really quite pig-headed about this, and I think there's a much better way to go around this. I don't think Google's helping by saying that they may pull out of the country. I think that's a real backfire kind of statement. It was not very smart of them. I think there's going to be a hybrid approach that needs to be there, that yes, the news sources do get paid, but at the same time, it's got to be reasonable and it's going to be fair and not just targeted at two companies. This has got to be covered by everybody. It's not a Google and Facebook thing, it's an internet thing. So if you're sharing stuff on TikTok, you pay for it. If you're sharing stuff on Bing, it's paid for. Not just for these two companies because they're quite big. It needs to be much more fairly thought out and distributed. And I would include in that things like Clubhouse. Clubhouse is getting away with a lot of stuff right now that it shouldn't be getting away with and should be held accountable. So it might be the hot new thing that every marketer and expert seems to be flooding onto, but it's also needs to be held accountable like any digital platforms. If it's fair for one, it's going to be fair for all.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I was just curious because, then all they're doing is throwing policy back and forth at the moment. So there's no real direction as yet. So yeah, no worries. Okay, but it could potentially have huge impacts. I mean, we can't lose Facebook and Google. I mean, honestly, it's what was that? 95%. I think it was quoted on Nine News. 95% of people in Australia use Google, which, I mean, the analytics speak for that anyway. But in saying that, even with everything going on, I still believe 100, 200% to devote some time to Google and Facebook training that is online, because it's there to help us use the platforms. And that's essentially, who better to teach us than the platforms themselves. So I believe we are coming up to the end of Digital Toolkit for today. I did want to make sure that we are all aware that next week is the best e-commerce platforms. So we're going to pick apart Shopify, Encord, WooCommerce, and any other favorites of the panel that they'd like to share their insights on. I know that Andrea will have a thought or two about a platform or so, having worked in them herself as well. So, but yeah, so best e-commerce platforms. So do tune in with us next week. I would also like to extend a really big thank you to the team for continuing on this year. We sadly have we've had three panelists leave us this year to focus on new ventures. So we say goodbye to Trevor Russell, Di Crone, and Lauren Clement, who won't be joining us again this year officially as a regular panel member, but we would love to have them back as guests. So but in any case, yeah, just letting everyone know. And we look forward to a brilliant year this year. We have welcomed on Crystal. Thank you for joining us this year for 2021. And we are looking forward to having a few new panelists join us throughout the year, and I believe some return guests as well. But that is to be revealed at a later date. So keep an eye on this space, watch the space, and make sure you've liked the Digital Toolkit Facebook page. You've joined the group, registered on the digitaltoolkit.co website, which has been launched this year, and it's in development with a few of the posts, so that they are coming. But you can register for the toolkit on the website, and you only have to do it once, and you get the link come out to you every week after that. So we want you to join us. Please join us, and stay in touch with through Facebook. So thank you again to our amazing team of digital experts. It's always a pleasure to sit on the panel with you every week. So we look forward to an awesome topic next week. So thank you, and stay informed, stay up to date on Facebook to get found, get paid, and grow your business online. So bye for now.